Ẹ káàárọ̀ gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà rere. A ṣe fídíò ní last week but ààrí impact government ààrí impact ní lórí wa. Ẹ wo ẹ̀yin ọjọ́ mẹ́ta rè lórí truck. Mo ti jí débi báyìí látàárọ̀. Ẹ wo ní truck. I've been short feeding since last two weeks now. I've started having mortality on the floor. Look at the mortality. Look at everywhere that is scanty. Ẹ wo ẹ̀yin ọjọ́ mẹ́rin rè lórí truck. But my governor is not doing anything to us. But he can encourage a program like Big Brother Nigeria. Ó ní kí n máa fi sweat mi, kí n máa fi vote fún ẹni tó ń jí láàárọ̀ lójoojúmọ́ nínú cage house tó ń jẹ tó ń mu conveniently láti dé ládé 85 million naira. But èmi wà ń bí pẹ̀lú ọmọ lọ́wọ́ láti wá sí farm láti wá máa ṣiṣẹ́ láti lè ensure food security in my country. But I'm here to get any help. Look at me. I'm doing this for over 10 years now without any assistance of the government. And you ask the youth to go into farming and you have no provisions for us in times of help. I watched a program last week which is Agogo Ayo. Fẹ́mi Ọ̀ṣun sọ yí pé àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wọn fẹ́ lọ into farming. Imagine, and I'm here with a lot of my friends into farming and we are youth. Wọ́n fi ìbínú wọ́n tẹ̀díyẹ wọn ní last week. Look at the cages. I need 2,000 capacity cage nílẹ̀. Kò sí nǹkan kan tá fẹ́ kó sínú ẹ̀. Kò sí owó tí a fẹ́ fi rẹ̀ dìyẹ. Kò sí owó tí a fẹ́ fi lóúnjẹ dìyẹ. Àti ẹ̀rọ owó bẹ́ẹ̀ nìyẹn débi tá fẹ́ rówó bọ́ ara wa. Lóbi tá fẹ́ rí owó bọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa. Ẹ wo mortality lẹ̀lẹ̀. Mo ti bẹ́ẹ̀rì mẹ́ta lánàá. This is 2 this morning. This is 2. Look at this sick bed. Mi ò rówó tí máa fi ra oògùn tí máa fi rògùn fún. Ẹ wo cage. Look at cage. A very quality cage. Ó ti ń get rotten because I don't have money to stock beds inside, and I'm trying to ensure food security in my country.
The past few months have brought with them tales of uncertainty, anxiety, and fear of the unknown for many poultry farmers across the country, who have had to contend with the harsh reality created by the scarcity of maize, an integral commodity in animal feed production. The recent directive by the Central Bank of Nigeria banning the importation of maize has been described as ill-timed, though with good intentions. This policy could further compound the woes of poultry farmers, given that maize, which constitutes more than 50% of poultry feed content, is currently very scarce, and where available, is very expensive, with the price constantly rising.
Basically, this is an unprecedented year. Unprecedented year is that this is the first time the price of maize will go out of hand. Currently, a ton of maize is being sold at 200,000. In the history of this country, or in the history of livestock business, we have never bought maize as high as that price.
I visited Farm Fresh Farms and asked about their welfare in this trying time.
Is there feed there? No feed. All these birds, the way they are, they want to eat. TVC, it is not like we are doing biscuit. If biscuit, the price of something goes up in biscuit, it's okay, keep it until the price of raw materials come down. You can keep it 2 months, 2-3 months. This one, they don't eat 2-3 days, you start seeing mortality, death, they start dying. 2-3 days, which means regardless of what is happening now, even though I'm complaining, I have to look for the money and start, otherwise they will start dying in my very eyes. They will start dying. So that's the kind of thing we expect government to please quickly yield and listen to all the things that we are saying. Some of us don't have the money to buy 1 year or 2 years grain and stuff like that. We don't.
The implication of the total collapse of the poultry industry is enormous, as more than 20 million Nigerians are involved in the poultry value chain.
Like we've seen on the social media, a lot of farms have not been able to feed their birds because even to access maize locally is so difficult, and even when you get it, it's so expensive. So it makes the feed so expensive, and people are not breaking even with their production. That's the major one. And I can tell you it's a double tragedy for farmers because during the pandemic, we're unable to sell our eggs because most of places are not open. Now that we can sell, the prices of feed, because of the high cost of maize, is eroding all our profit, and it's so difficult.
Profit line is very thin in this business, very thin. I'm talking under 10%. Yes. So if you talk about that, then there's a sudden 25% increase in the cost of feed, on cost of maize and soya and the rest of them. Where are they going to take that to? What is it? Where? Because all they will be doing, they are just harrowing. You can see on that platform that they are like, oh, we are going to die. What are we going to do? What will be this? What will be that? So it's a big thing. It's a big thing. I just think the CBN need to have a rethink. It's a practical thing. It's not anything that, about last year I was with CBN, I was with them trying to give them a talk. And one of the things I told them at the CBN, I mean the people that are there, some of their staff that are in charge of all this, I said, look, it's a good thing. You are you're helping poultry farmers from poultry. You go to fish, from fish, you go to rice, from rice. I said, but whilst you are helping all these people along the line, don't forget the others you have helped. You gave them money. Don't forget to go back or look after their interests, because they want their interests to be protected. If you don't protect their interests, you didn't get them money. They won't be able to pay you.
The president of the Animal Science Association of Nigeria wants the government to address this problem before it snowballs into a very big crisis.
Already there is crisis, but it may lead to closing down of farms. And then so many things are attached to poultry industry in Nigeria. It's a well-developed industry in the livestock subsector of agriculture. If anything should happen to poultry industry in Nigeria, more than 20 million people will lose job directly and indirectly.
The concerns here in the long run is that, number one, you are going to put so many farmers out of job. Number two, you are going to put so many workers out of job. Number three, you are going to discourage those upcoming farmers who have been encouraged to invest into farming.
After you, yes.
This situation is forcing many poultry farmers to sell off their stock, posing grave danger to poultry stakeholders and Nigeria at large.
We are doing farming. Some of them, they collected a loan. Some of them are withdrawn themselves. And if you go to their farm, they have padlocked their farms. No more function because of they can't make profits.
In fact, there's no market these days since the pandemic. They buy a credit these days. It's on credit, and it is very difficult for you to retrieve your money back. And you know eggs are perishable goods, so it's affecting a lot.
The eggs are too expensive. We are not able to sell them. I barely make profits. This is bad. Some of my customers don't come again. The eggs are too small and too expensive.
Everything is on the high side. Electricity, see, egg that even the poor people are even managing to eat. Nobody is coming nearer to it. How are we going to survive? The thing is going up every day. I used to come here every Monday. Every Monday if I come to hard money. Everywhere, what is going on? And I'm going to use transport to carry it. I'm going to spend money on nylon to sell for people, labor, every other thing. It's on this egg. How am I going to do it?
So it's better that taja yi kò lè tó bí eléyìí rí. But eléyìí ti wá le jù o. Nígbà tá bá ń rẹyin láti farm ní 1,000.
Since I started selling eggs, it's never been this bad. This is way too much. When I am buying a crate of egg for 1,000 naira, how much will I then sell to my customers? And we all know that eggs are risky. They crack anyhow. All this is part of my game. It's too expensive. I'm just so tired. I keep doing this because I don't have any other job. Eggs are beneficial and they shouldn't be so expensive. Buying eggs 1,000 naira means I will barely make 50 naira profit after deducting the cost of transportation, nylon and so on. It's too difficult.
Almost 1,000 show. Ta lè jèrè 50 naira. Ó ti le jù.
With maize importation banned, farmers will no longer be able to afford adequate quantity of chicken feed for their chickens. There will now be malnourished chickens that will not provide enough eggs. Cows and goats are not left out because a large percentage of their feed is made from maize. Are we heading towards a protein-free Nigeria? Workers are floating bags of maize and other raw materials at a feed mill. They are working hard towards the production of chicken feed, stocking their machines with raw materials. The process is long, involving lab analysis, bagging, and a lot more. This is the subject of the conversation on the lips of poultry farmers and egg distributors. Feed. Like every other living thing, chickens require quality food to keep them healthy, but sadly, their feed is now pretty expensive. Feed manufacturers say the rise in the cost of poultry feed is not their fault.
Usually, the cost of bringing in a trailer load of maize is about 2.8 to 3 million. But today we get a trailer load of maize for 6.5 to 7 million. So which is, nearly triple the cost of maize initially. And it is affecting most feed mills and farms are already closing up.
For all intent and purpose, maize constitutes 50 to 60% layers feed, and there is no way the price of feed will not be as high as the current price we are selling. Because of the high cost of maize, the price of feed will definitely increase. When you look at the estimated cost of producing feed, at the price of maize will definitely shoot up the production cost of feed. We are currently buying maize at a price which is not pocket friendly, and the price of maize cannot even be transferred to the price of feed. And more so, I would like to tell those who care to listen, the maize is not only raw material that goes into feed. There are over 14 to 15 products that makes up feed. Immediately after the COVID lockdown, all the input costs went up, namely soya, lysine, methaolin, which we use to produce chicken feed. And there is no way the price of chicken feed will not go up.
With a depleted national grains reserve, Nigeria lacks the capacity to cushion the effect of the scarcity of maize, given inconsistent rainfall patterns, as well as insecurity in some parts of the country, leaving many farmers stranded. Some are of the opinion that the government should embrace guided importation of maize.
Now, you cannot just wake up one day and say you have banned importation. Even when President Obasanjo was there, he was a farmer. He knew very well that there was no other way that at some point in time they will allow people to import maize so that the price can be regularized, so that the price can be commensurate with what people will buy and sell around here. Okay? I don't want to put my brothers out of business over there up north. No. But I want us to do it in a systematic manner.
This crisis has brought untold hardship on many industry stakeholders, and they are full of regrets.
There are so many young kids that they are brought into this business, telling them, oh, by way of so many things that CBN brought, very good programs, but if you bring them in and you start giving them this kind of shocker, all of them will run out. They are going to run out. You are going to lose them. And I referred you, egg producers, they are on Telegram. If you go there, you will see what all those boys are complaining. So also FIPAN. I mentioned FIPAN to you the other day. Well, PAN too. I know Lagos State PAN is saying something. I don't know what the national PAN is saying. To be honest with you, they are complaining because I've seen them and I see what they are doing.
Farmers in Nigeria really need help, especially when there's crisis like this, like during the COVID-19 pandemic that is really affecting the whole sector. Not even agree, but agriculture is hardly fed in the sense that during the COVID, during the lockdown, when we produce, there's nowhere to sell most of this produce, either eggs or chicken or something like that, because you have to understand that most of our customers are hotels, eateries, schools, and people doing parties. All these things were grounded, so it was a very serious issue. Even as of this moment, some people have not been able to get out of it. Coupled with the recent problem that we're having with the climate change. Apart from the climate change, we have been having problem with grains. What I mean by that is maize, because 70 to 80% of poultry farmers, what they depend on is on these grains, like maize, soya, and groundnut cake, but all these are very scarce in the market today. And not only they are scarce, they are very expensive that most farmers cannot even afford it.
It seems the cries of these stakeholders have been heard by President Muhammadu Buhari, who has now approved the disbursement of 30,000 tons of maize from the National Grains Reserve, intent on easing the current high cost of poultry production. But there are issues that come with this.
Actually, it won't change the price. And I'll tell you the reason. The reason is that what? Some of those ones that they gave, that they wrote, some of those bags they wrote not for sale there. We've bought them at ridiculous prices. People eventually sold them. So when you are talking about, the man can say that was go ahead and release. But the question is that what? Can he control it from the beginning to the end? No. So there are some people that they are looking for government to make a pronouncement. And there are some people that are waiting to make money from that pronouncement. So some people, either you like it or not, in this part of the world, people are not really after to take care of people. They are just there to take care of their pocket.
Amidst the grains glut, the Central Bank of Nigeria decided to revisit its earlier decision. It has now given emergency approval for the importation of 262,000 tons of maize to 4 agro-processing companies in Nigeria. Data obtained from the United States Department of Agriculture states that Nigeria imported its second largest volume of maize in a decade in 2019, maintaining the same level it recorded the previous year. This in its own way threatens the government's policy on food security and striking a balance between food imports and local production to meet anticipated shortfalls. Nigeria's annual need for maize is estimated at 15 million metric tons, but the country's local production does not meet this demand.
So it's a huge demand that the local industry, our local maize farmers are not able to meet up till now. So what we have in the recent past is where we see a federal government, for whatever reason, it may be the forex concerns, the squeeze in forex, they have come out to say ban no more importation of maize, no more releasing of forex for the importation of maize. So everybody has to fall back on the local industry, and it is not enough to meet up with the demand.
Before the lockdown, around March this year, a ton of maize was sold at 85,000, and at the end of the lockdown, shortly after the lockdown, the price of maize went to 150,000, from 150 to 170, now 180,000, 200,000. Basically, there are so many factors. The last year rain, the excess rain we had, necessitated the harvest to be poor, because we had a lot of post-harvest loss, because some farmers could not even harvest their maize from the farm, and rain washed some away. Number two, there is also presently competition between man and livestock. There is a high demand for need for human food from maize. People use it for semovita, semonina, tuwo masara, and this is also competing with the livestock industry. Also, there are other issues which is also getting me worried. The extra movement of maize within Nigerian borders. Today, when you go to the borders of Niger, there are a lot of mass movement of Nigerian maize into this country, and Nigeria is losing massively some tons, so many tons of maize into some of these neighboring countries.
The Minister of State for Agriculture and Rural Development, Mustapha Baba Shehuri, disclosed that the federal government had borrowed 5,000 metric tons of assorted grains from the food stock of the Economic Community of West Africa State and had plans to pay back before the COVID-19 pandemic struck.
Strategic grain reserve. They have given us almost 30% of what is available. So we know it is not enough, but it has gone a long way to help our small-scale poultry farmers. All over, interest rate on agriculture, mostly in industrial world, is between 0% and 3%. Anything beyond 3%, you are not helping the agricultural sector.
Development Finance Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria actually started what we call an anchor borrowers program on broiler meat production in the states. And to this, they got in contact with us based on the outcome of the previous meetings we had with them. And we hope maybe by the beginning of next year, when we must have gotten over this COVID issue, then we should be able to fast track most of this partnership and collaboration.
The ECOWAS, its donors and financial partners, have now donated 3,999 tons of cereals to Nigeria in order to ease the food crisis in the West African sub-region. Poultry farmers and other stakeholders hope that a speedy solution comes their way, as feed scarcity reduces livestock productivity and in turn lowers their income. Food and nutrition security are consequently endangered.